My boyfriend got down on one knee and pulled out an engagement box with a beer can tab in it to prank me in front of his whole family, so I gave him an answer he will never forget. My boyfriend and I had problems because of his constant pranks. He has a thing for making his targets look ridiculous. I warned him, many times, that I'm not a forgiving person and that he was undermining my trust. He laughed it off, and I kept giving him chances because he has redeeming qualities. However, these traits began to fade away, and I don't know why. It kind of shifted. I don't know if showing him love made him think that he could do this. We never had fights, although we had disagreements, and I tended to clam up if I was really hurt. This happened twice. The first time was very out of the blue. We attended a gala hosted by our city council. I'm using the quotes gala because this isn't a huge city, and galas are looked forward to but are not the high-class/upper-class inaccessible type. He liked the way that they treated us. I was the actual guest and he was my +1, and he asked me if I could help him get an interview as he wanted to launch a small business, and maybe they would be interested. I made no promises but got him a meeting that I attended along with him. On our way back, we stopped at a deli and ran into my ex. Keith was enraged because I answered my ex's greeting and said that I was too friendly and that it was disrespectful. That lasted for about 10 minutes. We sit at my place to eat our takeout, and he immediately said very inappropriate things about my best friend. I immediately called him out for trying to make me jealous. He laughed at first, but I asked what was funny, so he left and took his food. We talked about it later, but a few days later I realized that he never properly apologized. Second, he criticized my outfit and said that I looked ridiculous in it. I should have dumped him right there, but chose to put it in the back of my mind because I already had a lot on my plate. I also held out hope that we could go back to the way things used to be. I was never able to shake off that feeling of being hurt, although we seemed to have reached a very stable phase after that. He started with his pranking ways again. First, I caught him trying to hide the birthday cake that I got for my friend. Then, he hit the gas pedal a few times when I was about to get in his car. Last week, we were at his mother's house for his birthday party. Everything felt pretty normal, until everyone got really quiet. It was just weird. I looked at him and he immediately took a knee. This was the worst feeling. First of all, we had not reached a stage leading to an engagement. Second, I thought it was likely a prank, but I didn't know how to react. I don't know if he told everyone that he was about to propose, and if they were quiet in honest anticipation, or if they knew, or maybe some of them knew. If he was being honest, I didn't want to say no in front of his family, so I would have probably had to say yes and then say no in private. If it was a prank, then he would have humiliated me in front of over 20 people. So what I did was ask what he was doing, and he said I was seeing him and that I knew. I said no, I didn't know, so he insisted. I said all right, and asked to see what was in the box and will react accordingly. The fact that he looked off was a huge red flag. He opened the box and he had a beer can tab in it. I told him off right there. I said that he took a knee to give out junk just like he tried to suck up to people to try and get them to sign up for his tacky, insignificant LLC so that he could push his trash services that he hardly knows how to do. I also mentioned how he lost his jobs twice and said I fully understand why he couldn't afford a real ring. I asked him if he honestly saw me marrying a man-child. His family were offended. Some of them looked uncomfortable, but some of them acted like I went overboard. He tried to apologize, but I informed him to stick it up his ass and that we were done. Needless to say, it was a shitty show. I had no exit plan because I didn't know that I would have to walk out and I didn't have my car. So I had to walk with his cousins following me and to convince me that he didn't mean to hurt me and that it was dangerous to walk home alone. I had to walk about 30 minutes until I found an available Uber. I made a Facebook post explaining why I did what I did and that I couldn't see my future self with a scumbag. His brother's GF and I have a good relationship. I find her to be very honest and reasonable. She reached out to check how I was doing and to let me know that neither her nor her boyfriend had anything to do with it and that I was right to be mad. But she also said that while she has never gotten along with Keith, ousting him as a workforce failure in front of his family was too much and that his family were thrown off. I asked what she thought I should do, since I'm not going to do anything to make him feel better, and that's that. And that if he ever tries to contact me, I will make sure things get even more painful. To be honest, I'm embarrassed. I stood up for myself, but I guess I went overboard, and maybe I should have just turned